Hello, everybody, and welcome to Against the Fence, where this is the place to be if you're obsessed and passionate about the UFC. And today we're joined by Cheyanne Vlismas, who is 7 wins and 2 losses. She's got a UFC record of 2 wins and 1 loss. And she's got back-to-back wins against Gloria De Paula and Mallory Martin. She trains out of Las Vegas, and she is the first female fighter to be on the channel. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, Cheyanne, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, terrific now. Terrific now that we've kind of got that out of the way. I've been wanting to get a female fighter on for so long, but you guys just kind of like, I don't know, it's something about your DMs. It's just not really like, I don't know what it is.
We just seem like creeps when we creep into him, right? Like, hey, do you want to come into our channel? It's like, no, go away. Maybe we're not asking right.
I've been denied so many interviews for some reason, because sometimes when I get into like fight camp, like I don't really like to even talk about it. I just like to like make myself go crazy, kind of like stay ghost. But I don't know why. It was just like, yeah, I'll do it for you guys.
Oh,
I don't know why. So long too, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. I was like, UK fans, I was like, the UK is coming up and the UK fighters are really excited. Like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes,
absolutely. If you paid any attention to some of the UFC fights that we had over here in London this year, it's like, man, honestly, it's legit. It just really reaffirms how crazy and how hungry we are for the sport. It's legitimately there.
I'd love to go to London and fight.
Well, I mean, we say it every time, every guest, we're like, look, you got to come over here.
Yeah.
Let us know as well when you come over here, because, you know, there's a lot to do. And I must at least start by kicking us off and saying that I am quite a bit of a big fan of yours, actually. And now the reason why, it dates from the Contender Series. There's one specific moment in that fight where I think either she pulled guards or she got tripped. I can't remember the exchange. But your words were, get the fuck up. And then you realize what you said and was like, oh, no, shit, sorry. And from that moment on, I was like, damn, she's so game. It's unreal. I was like, I've got to be a fan of this person.
That was Hillary, wasn't it? Against Hillary Rose, I believe.
Yes, that was just like my grittiness fighter coming out, but then at the same time it was like the polite sweet Cheyanne coming out. Like I was saying sorry because I was like, oh my god, I'm on live TV, I'm so sorry, don't take it from me. Like I was like, all right, well, really do get up, please.
That's so rich, honestly. I loved it every second of it.
Like to a T right there.
Oh man, I can't tell you how excited. Because at the same time, it was just a bit like, wait, did she just say that?
Yeah,
but you know.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
I am professional, honest. Love it. Okay, well, I mean,
well, you got a contract.
Yeah, exactly. Now, is it true you've? Oh, sorry. To butt in, you did say something there. I just realized.
Oh no. I was just saying, like, even Dana giving me the contract, he was like, get the F over here. And I was like, yeah.
Did he apologize straight after?
No, he didn't, but I would for sure.
Right. Now, you changed gyms, is that right? Or are you still at Extreme Couture?
A little bit. I work with just my head coach there, and with like a couple of the guys that I've been with for a long time. So yes and no. But I'm mostly over at the UFC headquarters. That's where I've been doing most of my camp at. And I've been training with the Brazilian girls, Jessica Andrade's team, PRVT. I train with them twice a week. I train with my head coach like 3-4 times a week. And then I train with my jiu-jitsu school. My head jiu-jitsu school is hybrid BJJ with Renato and Raquel Canatu. Sorry, I can't say their last, but they're world-class champions in jiu-jitsu, very good gym. And so I have a really good team, and most of my camp, I would say, is at the UFC headquarters.
Oh, sweet. I mean, we've had Chris Curtis on the channel.
We have
like Chris Curtis. You get on with Chris?
He's oh yeah, I was just having lunch with him like 30 minutes ago.
Oh, whoa! Did you tell him about us? Did you say, hey, I'm going to be jumping on the Against the Fence channel? And did he say, oh, those guys are cool?
I had any idea about it. No, I had no idea world I would have, because he's like one of my close friends actually.
Wow. Honestly, we've got pictures of the guy. He's awesome. He's pretty cool.
He actually found out about us before
we had him on the channel.
Before we had him on the channel. He just like found us at one point, and then we bumped into him
stuff.
in London. He was like, "Oh, you guys are against the fence." I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh my god," it was madness. It was like, it's weird.
He's such a fun. He's the type of guy, like whenever he's around, you know you're gonna laugh and smile. Like you can't stay sad. Like he's just so funny.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He's just like a teddy bear.
He is, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I generally wouldn't be surprised if he was just going around telling everyone, hey, get on the Against the Fence channel. Because, he had a lot of fun. He had a lot of fun. He had a lot of fun, didn't he? Well, we did anyway.
Now we haven't seen you compete since last December. You were scheduled to fight Tabitha Ricci on October 1st, but you had to withdraw due to personal reasons. You're now fighting Corey McKenna, who's from Wales, who's quite close to us, on December 17th. And these past 12 months must have been a bit of a roller coaster journey for you, haven't they?
Yes, it's been quite the year. But you know what? The beginning of this year, you know, after my last fight, to some of my real fans that have like listened to my interviews, I said in all my interviews after that fight, I said, listen, guys, I'm going to be away for a while. I have to handle a lot of things now. Like I have to handle my personal life. Unfortunately, I had to go be an adult now. I don't get to go do what I love to do. So yeah, it's been quite a year. And honestly, I'm just pulling out of the Tabitha fight was heartbreaking, especially because it was so personal that I couldn't even come out with the reasoning. And that was hard because I've never pulled from a fight. Like I even fought my UFC debut with a broken arm and didn't say anything to anyone. I just went out there, fought my debut, took the loss, went, got surgery, came back. Now I'm on a 2-fight win streak. You know, I don't like pulling from fights. And especially if someone doesn't come out with the reason, I'm always the type like, oh yeah, they're scared. Or, you know, like the basic fighter thing. So this was all hard. Everything that happened to me this year, and then me having to pull out from the fight and not being able to say why, it was rough. It's been rough. So yeah, I'm just so grateful that I'm able to fight this year. It's the last part of the year. So I'm just prayed to God that I'm just being able to go finish this year doing what I love to do and hopefully finish the year strong. Cause it was just it was a rough year.
Yeah.
But roughness, I'm in a really good headspace, mentally, clearly, physically, and I'm taking everything that's happened this year and I've turned it into like good energy. I'm like, you know, when one door closes, another one opens. Absolutely. And so now I'm in a really good space, and I think everything does happen for a reason. So I'm just super grateful that I really wanted to fight with Tabitha, but I also really love this fight with Corey. I'm just super happy I'm fighting a wrestler because after my debut, I'm like, please feed me a wrestler. Feed me someone that I can show my skills to.
Right. Yeah, that
someone else who can get in a headlock. You know?
So yeah, basically in a headlock for 15 minutes, and I was swearing all over the place.
Oh, honestly.
Me too. It's especially when you go into the fight injured and you just keep your mouth shut. It was tough to swallow that one, but toughed it out. Went home, got surgery. Back, and now I'm on a win streak. Small win streak, but I'm on a win streak.
To be fair, every win you've got some sort of performance bonus. So you know, you
better and better.
Fight of the night,
anyway.
Performance of the night, you've done well. Yeah. And the ones that you've won in the UFC.
You know, when I got injured on my debut 10 days before the fight, 12 days before the fight, I was like, there was no even thinking pulling out. It was just like, oh my God, like, first of all, I need to fight so I can go get surgery. Second of all, I was like, I will not, like, I was like telling myself, like, I can beat this girl, no problem. And then that fight week, the therapist like working on my arm, and they were like, oh, don't worry, you'll be okay. They're like, we can get it to where your arm can bend. And then I can't lie, in the fights, the adrenaline really took over, but that was a whole mess. And I was just so embarrassed for myself that I was just like, oh my God. I was like, I can't wait to heal up and just like come back in every fight. Now every fight I fight with like that chip on my shoulder from my debut. Cause I'm just like, the stuff I got after the fights, and people still to this day, yeah, the girl that got headlocked for 15 minutes. I'm like, oh yeah, well, Yes, I am. You know, I am.
But look, you're hungry to get it back and give. Look, you got another wrestler to come, so.
I actually asked to fight her for this fight. I said, by the way, like, I know I can't call the shots, but I was like, is Conejo available? But she's not. So, but I'm fighting, unfortunately, the nicest girl on the roster now. Corey McKenna, she's wonderful. She's so nice. And yeah, it's going to be a great fight, I think. She's a young, up-and-comer prospect, same as me. And I'm just a wrestler. I'm just really happy about that.
It's an exciting matchup, and yeah, for sure we're going to be glued to the screens watching it.
Yeah, I'm going to be fending off, you know, Team Cheyanne's honors, really, because there's going to be maybe a few Welsh people watching it with us. So
yeah, there will be, but I hope my fans too, because I love everybody. So I just want to watch me and then just be like, that girl is fun to watch. That's all I care about. Win or draw, I don't care. I just want people to be able to tune in every time I'm fighting and be like, this girl is an entertainer. That's all I want.
That girl is on fire. I did promise I wouldn't sing, but
I just told you not to sing. Okay. But anyhow, yeah, as we said previously, it has been a rocky 12 months for you, but how have you managed to sort of stay focused on fighting the whole time?
Yeah.
The beginning of the year was rough. Beginning of the year was really rough. It felt like I was never going to be able to fight again. That's how it felt. But you know, this has been my dream since a little girl, so I just had to keep that in the back of my mind. And you know, you're not always going to be like focused. You're not always going to be motivated, but that's when your discipline comes in. And I felt like my discipline ended up taking over everything, and my discipline made my mindset to come back. And not like I was going to quit or anything. That was not the option, but it was hard in the beginning of the year when I physically could not fight. I had to really handle a lot of things, a lot of situations, and it just felt like one thing after the other was getting taken from me. And it's hard because it's like I can't, you know, I could talk about my life, but, you know, I didn't sign up to be on the Dr. Phil show. I want to be a fighter. So that's why I've really just like kept my personal life separated, because people, you sell them one thing and they spin it around and say it 10 different ways. And it's like, my life, I don't care to boast about, but yeah, it was rough, but again, the discipline took over. Finally, now I'm able to fight, and you know, no more problems. Now everything is just up from here. So we're good. We're back.
We're so excited to be at the very front end of this. What is set to be just a glorious trajectory.
This new path, yeah.
It's exciting.
I'm just been praying this whole year. My next fight is just like, I just want to make myself proud. You know, it's, you know, it's only you in there. Of course, you need a team and you need coaches to help you prepare. But at the end of the day, I don't care what anyone says. You're the only one in there fighting and doing the work. So this one's for me. You know,
strong.
Yeah,
I love that.
Now, in an Instagram post leading up to your scheduled bout on October 1st, you talked about making some changes towards your preparation. What aspects have you changed, and what version of Cheyanne can fans expect to see on December 17th?
Well, I moved overseas to Georgia, and I've never done like a full camp overseas like this while being in the UFC, and it's completely different. And the changes I made was absolutely just going back to straight basics, like arm bars, triangles, to straight jab, to a straight cross. I mean, which in my fights, if you watch my striking, it is already mostly just basics. What, you know, in Taekwondo, when I was a young child, I'll never forget, I mean, it's a common quote, but my instructor would always say, never fear the man that knows 1,000 kicks,
Yes,
fear the man that's fighting.
I love that quote.
And I have just always, that's how I fight. I throw a jab, cross, head kick almost every single fight 20 times. And it got me to the UFC. And, you know, so like, you know, people say work on your weakness, which I always work everything. I'm a mixed martial artist, but I felt in the beginning, the changes I made was I really went back to straight basic striking. And then I went straight into basic wrestling. I went straight into basic jujitsu, like everything, like no fanciness, no nothing that was even interesting to learn. It was quite boring, you know, when you're same thing over and over. And I was doing that leading into my, well, now full camp, which I was going to come for, if I was fighting October 1st, I was going to come 5-6 weeks before that fight to America, finish it off with my coach. But now I have 12 weeks with my coach here in America. So I have a full camp here. But so I would say I've been in camp for a long time because I was in camp for the Tabitha fight. And then something tragic happened. Had a pull. I had to take off training for like at least a month. And then, yeah, so I've basically been in camp for the past couple months. And yes, now I'm back in America. But while I was overseas, my changes were just straight basics. Yeah. I mean, I felt like, like whitest of white belts. Like, yeah. Like I knew how to throw a jab 100 times. I'm learning boxing from Kazakhstan guys who don't even speak English. Wow. And so like going to the classes, I'm in classes with like people that just started training, people who are professional fighters. Like it's all in one, these classes, you know, we're a small country, but the coach, I don't even understand him for one. And I mean, I had to really focus on the details because he speaks Russian for one. And two, the way he coached was, I didn't understand a single word he was saying, but for some reason I could understand everything just by body language. And he was one of the best boxing coaches I've ever learned from. Oh. I mean, I'm still to this day, like the movement this guy had, like I thought I knew how to hit and move. Like, I mean, my last fight, I showcased a ton of footwork
yeah,
and
insane.
Yeah. But this guy made me feel as if like I knew nothing.
Wow.
I never felt like that before on the training mat. I've always felt pretty high level on the training mat anywhere I've been. I mean, I train in Vegas I was just training with Zhang Leon last Friday. Like, you know, I'm training with high level people here. But then when I go to a class that has amateurs on there, people who don't even fight, people who have, I felt lower than them. And it was the best feeling in the world to feel like that again. I felt like a little girl who just started this martial arts career and just had chased this dream, you know. And like, you know, when you travel overseas, not to America, when you travel out of America, you train with people that have a lot of heart. Yeah. You know, because overseas, when you're not in America and you're in these little countries, you don't have a passport, you don't have a visa, but you have this dream and your heart makes you train so hard. It was so inspiring to train with these people that one, I mean, not being rude or not egotistic that I'm better than in fighting, but the heart and dedication and the determination to get to where I'm at, they don't realize how inspiring it was for me to be near that, because I do have this, but here's these people that don't have nearly a quarter of what I have and what the availability to come to America and chase this dream. So it was really like different. It was a really different kind of camp. And it made me mentally like different, like mentally stronger. Like here I am around people that would die to be where I'm at. And sometimes I feel like when I walk to the PI every day, it makes me feel like now just more grateful because of where I live and the people that are always like, they're just amazed by these things that we have and at the PI. And I'm like, wow. I was like, I just want to be able to like help these people back home and like be able to show them like, listen, if you follow your dream, you can get to where I'm at too. And it was a very, very different kind of camp. I didn't have like my head coach, so that was different mentally. But I was messaging my head coach and I was like, okay, I'll be here. He's like, work this, work that. Luckily I had some really good training partners. Like I had this one guy, his name's Hamid. He's from Chechnya. I don't even know.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to Google that later.
He's like everything. He's Russian. And he was my main training partner. And it was really like heartfelt. He was there for me every single day. Anytime I needed him, I would switch times on him like night before. And then like 2 weeks before I left to America, I found out from someone that he was training with me every single day for like 3 hours a day. He was doing classes, which the classes there are super late. And then he was going to work from 3 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the morning. And then he was training with me at 9 a.m. every day. I was like, oh, and he never once complained.
Hey,
Not once.
Jordan,
Not once.
I want to.
Me, I'm tired.
Wow. I want to apologize for every time that I said I'm busy, because I'm not busy in comparison to this guy.
And it's so crazy because I know what kind of pay he was getting from the work. It's very little money, like making maybe not even $20 a day, So it was just so every day in the gym, I could see he was tired, but I had no idea. And I'm like, are you good? He's like, let's go, princess. Let's go, princess. Pushing me. And then come to find out, like 2 weeks before I left, I was like, I owe a win to this guy, and I owe him a ton of money. I offered to give him money, but in that culture, it's like sinful for a man to take money. And here I am, like not knowing that. I'm like, here's 100 lari, which is their lari, which is for us is like $30 maybe. And I was like, here, please take this, please take this. And he got, like, first time I ever seen him get mad. He's like, no. And I was like, sorry. Okay. But I was like, okay. So I gave him a UFC hat, and he was just like super grateful for that, like posting that. And I was just like, man, it's like being around people like this. And he's very, very good fighter. And I was like, wow. I was like, I just wish these people could get one piece of opportunity that I was given. Because I mean, there's people from out of America that work so hard, and these countries you go to, like I'm sure UK, there's young up and coming talent that unfortunately will never get a platform like some kids in America can.
Yeah, honestly,
crazy to think about. And it's truth, because I've traveled overseas and I've seen many talented. These people will never have a platform. They can fight for a big promotion, but unfortunately visas come into play, passports come into play. Some families don't even have that kind of money, so it's really. And,
well, I mean, I guess
so much to unpack,
in a way, I guess. Sorry to interrupt. I guess if he's never ever going to accept that kind of gesture, then I guess maybe hopefully one day, fingers crossed, then you can maybe help out the gym as a collective. Would even let you even do that?
Yeah. And that I was talking with someone over there, and I said, if I win this fight, win or lose, before I go back, I mean, I hope none of them listen to this interview, which because they speak Russian, so it's okay. I really want to buy, because all the guys there, they don't have much money, and their gear is very old, stinks. I want to buy just gloves and shins for the whole team there. Bring it back, and that's my goal.
That's strong, honestly.
Yeah.
So much.
Get that bonus.
Well. Yeah, I mean, look, you get performances as we go, so there's no reason why the next one shouldn't be either.
Yeah.
But if I think I'd fall down, die. Like that would be insane.
I did see the clip of the first time you got a bonus. I mean, what would this next one be?
I couldn't believe the first. I couldn't believe the second time. And then I'm saying as if I have a third one. No, second time.
Hey, you might as well. That's it. Start speaking it, but then start believing it. That's it. That's how we go.
Visualization.
That's how we move.
I told my dad the other day, I was like, if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't care about a title. If the title comes, it's gonna come. But my thing, I'm not sitting here every day, oh, I need the title. No, I'm young. If I keep doing what I'm doing, it will come. But I will say, I just want to be like the Donald Cerrone of the females. Like, I just want to be that girl that, when she fights, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And Donald Cerrone made a ton of bonuses. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because when I die, all this, people forget you, but I just want to be able to pay back and be able to make a life that I've always thought of. And unfortunately, I hate when people say money doesn't buy happiness, because money will buy me a village. Yeah. It will buy me cows, it will buy me chickens. It will buy me everything that I want to make a house that I want, and be able to pay off my father that paid everything to make sure this dream came true.
So amazing.
That's did you hear have you heard GSP's story about paying off his father?
No, and I'm a
That's
big fan
good.
of.
Oh, you got to check it out. Oh, me too. I love George to death. He's my biggest.
Not as much as you,
idol.
though.
But yeah,
Yes,
his story is really good. You got to check that.
yeah, he's amazing. I'll definitely go check that out.
For sure.
Thank you.
I mean, you got so much in that as well, because for sure is, yeah, when I think people who say like money doesn't buy anything, I reckon it's probably a little bit small minded, because it does, like, for example, happiness. But if you do sort of expand, yes, money on its own probably won't, but you open up the doors to other things that come into your life, then yeah, you can find happiness in it. But
Money in the UFC, and I was probably the most depressed I've ever been since I've made that money. So it doesn't buy the happiness, but it buys you things that can make you happy. And it's like giving.
it's not money alone, is
back.
it? There's more to it.
Yeah. Helps.
Yeah.
It can definitely help.
For sure. I agree.
But
I agree,
All right.
and it's super exciting as well. But yeah, generally, because I just think it's such a really good mindset you got there in terms of giving back, in terms of being able to help those people, to help you get to where you are as well. Honestly, absolutely magic. But speaking of Cerrone, maybe we should see if he wants to sometime get into the channel. We'll have to hit him up
Maybe.
sometime.
But I mean, looking ahead, then it kind of moves on to this question: what do you visualize when you're thinking about 2023? Where would you like to be by the end of the year? You know, are you hoping to fight at least 3 times? Are you maybe perhaps planning on moving again? You know, what do you see?
So I'm staying where I'm at. I love where I live. My dog loves where I live. So I'm definitely
Apollo.
staying where I'm at. Yes, Apollo. Yes.
I love that dog. He's so cute.
Yes, he's great. No, I'm definitely going to stay where I'm living. I will always do my camps, half in Georgia, half in Vegas. But as far as fighting, I would just like to be ranked by the end of next year.
Yeah.
That's my only goal. I don't care about how many times I fight, because I can't say, because I can get injured in the Corey fight. I can win and still get injured, go get surgery, who knows? Or I can lose terribly. And yeah, I don't know. I can't predict these things, but I do know I want to be ranked by the end of next year. And I think that's a definitely doable goal.
Yeah.
I like to do little goals at a time. I don't, obviously, I just told you I don't care about a title, because I'm little goals at a time.
Yeah.
Of course, little goals will help me get to the big goal, but I need to get these little ones in.
Yeah, as GSP once quoted, the famous Michelangelo, he said, never put your goal so high and not be able to reach it, but put your goal low and be able to reach it. That is the danger in life.
I'm a big believer. I'm surrounded by people that are always just like title, and I'm like, chill. The title will come.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I'm 27 years old. I could be fighting for a title at 35.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I just need to hit these little goals first.
And we'll get there.
All right, okay.
Magic.
Let's move on to some fan questions.
Oh, can they be flooding on in? Really happened. We got a lot up here.
We got one from Dustin earlier on.
See if can you zoom that a little bit?
Yeah, I can probably zoom this in.
All right.
Do you want to get that first question from Dustin on the sheet?
So, first question came in from Dustin, and he wanted to know. He said, "I'll post my question." This is something he posted a little bit earlier, but he said, "What was the hardest part about transitioning from lower tier promotions into the UFC? Did you find any sort of friction in doing so? Was it pretty simple? Was it like the lights of, because you see sometimes when people step onto the big stage and the lights of the UFC, it does sort of stall them, and they do sort of find some difficulty adjusting to it. So was that at all difficult for you, or did you find it relatively easy? What's your thoughts?
I might be in the UFC, but fighting in that Apex is lower than amateur fights I've had. In the amateurs, I was fighting a couple times in front of 17,000 people here in Las Vegas, headlining it. So being in the UFC, I've always known I'd get there. So for me, it's no big deal. But fighting at the Apex, I'm sorry, but it's bogus. I hate it. I signed up to be in the UFC with a big crowd, with people drinking beer, screaming, like, for me right now, it doesn't even, like, obviously it feels like the UFC, but I'm just waiting until I can walk out into an arena with everyone cheering or booing. I don't care. If they're booing, that's what I love about the sport, is the passion of these fans. I just want to be somewhere where I see people and I'm looking out and I'm seeing a crowd. Right now, all I see is like 10 people.
Come to London. Come to London, Cheyanne. Yeah. Come to London. We'll welcome you open arms. It'll be amazing.
Come.
goal is to win this fight and tell them, please do not call me unless it's for a crowd.
Yeah.
That's my, like, with my style, like, I'm a crowd pleaser. I don't have this role of I'm a fighter. I have a role of I'm an entertainer. And that's, but I'm myself. Like, I'm not saying I'm fake out there, because I'm 100% real. Like, there's no faking it out there. I don't care what people say. There's no faking, because if you fake, you get exposed. So you have to be. And I'm just, my amateur career was the same. I look out into the crowd. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to the commentators in the fights. Like, I just love that. I just love that feeling of like people cheering or booing. I mean, not for me, but but like I just
animosity. I mean, you're a gladiator at heart.
It's energy.
You're a gladiator at heart.
Yeah.
I like that Viking era type feeling, and it was great for contender. When I will say, when I fought for contender, that was the most nervous I've ever been. And it was like the best feeling, because I was like, this is some like Viking type stuff. Like, there's no music. You walk right out into the cage. There's no talking. Every single punch, you're going to hear it. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, someone is going to die. It's either me or her. But then after that, like when you get to the UFC, it's like, oh my God, now I have to have the same feeling, except for now I get my walkout song. And I was like, now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it again. And I think because everything that happened this year to me, I'm just like, I don't care. I can fight in a parking lot for free. Like, I'm just happy to go fight. But definitely if I win this one and I put on a good performance, yeah, I'm really gonna ask Mick super nicely and be like, listen, Mick, please don't call me unless it's for a crowd. Like, I feel like, again, I feel like I deserve a crowd.
Yeah.
I feel like
you're exciting. You're super exciting.
Yeah, I think UFC fans definitely need to see that level of Cheyanne. I think.
Yeah, and if they think this is fun at Apex, imagine. I mean, I would be like, throw me your shirt or something. I don't care. Like, I will like. I don't even care if they're on my side or my opponent's side. I would just like, I want to shake their hands. I want to take pictures with them. Like, that's for me, being in the UFC, like when I'm like 14 years old, watching it on TV and just seeing the fans, like I signed up to make you guys happy. And obviously it's something I love to do, but I also love to make you guys happy. Like, I'm an entertainer. I'm not just a fighter. I'm an entertainer.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when you see these actors and you see like you're fans of these actors, like that's how I feel. Like when you put it on TV and be like, Cheyanne Vlismas is on that TV. Like, let's yeah. And being in the Apex, I just don't have that feeling. Like, I've had amateur fights that have huge crowds. And a little different, but it's still the highest level of the sport, and I'm super grateful to be there. I love my job, and one day I will be able to fight.
I can tell. And that's like you said, you can't fake it. That stuff just shines through. But at the same time, I think it was in your last fight against Mallory Martin, and basically, at the end of the fight, it was like, come on, let's go, and like lay down. That's the sort of thing that you want to see. You're definitely bringing entertainment. You're definitely bringing a fire.
Even in the second round, she was like grabbing onto me, and I'm sitting there like slapping her on the stomach. I'm like, let go, you can let go. Like I was like, let's make that freaking money. And like that, because all fight week she was like, we can get fight of the night. And like in my head, I'm like, girl, I don't want no fight of the night. I want a performance. I was like, this girl is crazy. She's telling me we can get fight of the night. Like, no, you crazy. And then so in the fight when she was trying to wrestle, that anger of like, I was like, oh, you want fight of the night? Like, let's go. Like, let's go. Like, let's go. And then she didn't want to go. So, I mean, she's cool, but I mean, in the fight, like when it's the heat of the moment, I was just like, I was like, oh, you want that fight of the night? I was like, we ain't getting money doing this. Like, you want that?
Love it. Absolutely love that.
Good time.
All right. Okay. We got next question
up. Okay. So this is from Joseph. Joe's UFC picks. He says, after switching from Fortis to Extreme Culture to be back with Ray Sefo and Eric Nixix, you have won 2 in a row. Where have you seen the biggest improvements in your game?
I've touched upon it.
First, I would never say never been coached under Eric. He wasn't my head coach, and Ray is also not my head coach, and I'm no longer with Ray. It was always Dennis Davis. That's who I started my career with at Extreme. and it was with Ray as well. But as far as switching from Fortis to Extreme, a lot of people don't know was I only went to Extreme because of visa issues, visa purposes for my. It wasn't like, and no offense to Fortis, they know I left in good condition, great gym, great people, love them. But that wasn't my home ever. It never felt like home for me. I was only there again for visa purposes for, some, and yeah, so making that switch, I felt like I was finally back home. You know, I came to Extreme Couture when I was 20 years old. I'm now 27, and I came there for Dennis Davis. Because I met him when I was 18 years old, when I was fighting all the time, when I was I'm from Florida. From Florida to Vegas, I was fighting for Tough Enough. And I met him because he was coaching at Tough Enough. And as an amateur, I had a problem with wrestling. And I needed a high-level wrestling coach. And I couldn't find that in Florida. And so I moved from Florida to Vegas when I was like 19, 20 years old. And I was with him ever since. And then I left for like 2 years and I told him I'll be back. And then when I came back, I had to go to Texas and it was not ideal for me. It was like, I was so heartbroken.
Right.
I was like, how to get to Vegas? I was like, I have to go back. And then after my UFC debut, I didn't have Dennis. I didn't have Ray. I was like, I gotta go home. I was like, I gotta go back to Vegas. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I was like, I just gotta go. And I literally packed up everything and we left to Vegas and it's been great ever since. But yeah, it felt like I was just back home. Yeah.
And yeah, it's powerful that I think once you're in your own environment, amazing things can happen. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Dennis Davis raised me since I was a little girl. Like we've only lost one fight together and out of like 7 or 8. So it was like, I even felt ashamed that I even left for those 2 years. I was like, don't worry, I'll be back. I just don't know when. Yeah. But I made my way back and I will never leave him.
He looks like a great coach. I've seen some of the Instagram socials and stuff like that as well. And yeah, it looks like, I mean, evidently, look at the results,
Good
right?
person to be around.
Strong.
Yeah.
It's positive.
Again, I'm not Ray anymore. We have parted ways. But I will always be with Dennis Davis. Dennis Davis he's been my head coach. And now he's staying my head coach forever. Like I will make sure no matter where I live in the world, he is still my coach.
Awesome. Let's get on to that next question. So this is from Dylan St. Germain. He says, you've gotten perf of the night, a performance of the night is what I was supposed to be, and fight of the night because back to back in your last 2 performances, which is insane, says Dylan. He then also goes on to say, does that create any added pressure for you when you try to top those performances, so in your next one to come up?
That's a really good question, but no. I mean, if anything, it kind of like gives me that little motivation, like, dang, do I really want to go into my 4th UFC fight and make the least amount of money I have in my last, you know? But honestly, no pressure. If anything, it's just crazy to think like, oh, if I have a good performance, I could get my 3rd in the row. But I guess for me, it's more of like, I would love to try. I don't want to ever try because if I ever force something in a fight, that's when you can get knocked out or something. I just want to go out there and just be myself. And my father has always told me, if I'm just go out there and be myself, that money's going to come rolling in. And my father's always told me that. So I just got to go out there and be Cheyanne Vlismas. And if the money comes for another bonus, then that's just a gift from God. Like I was even shocked I made it last time, honestly. And I was obviously super grateful for it. And it really helped me out in a time of need. So if it comes for a 3rd time, amazing. If not, I don't care. I already know because of those 2 back-to-back, I'm on a good start for my first contract.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. You're
Right,
doing exciting things as it is, and I'm telling you, it's not far off. You'll be on those. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll have calls from UFC saying like you're going to be in front of a crowd for this next one. I mean, you absolutely should be. You're doing the right sort of movements for it. Next question up is from Ivan Nicholas. Shout out to you, Ivan Nicholas. How you doing, man? It's always good to see you in the chats. So he says, in your childhood days, you did karate, taekwondo, and now probably do a bit of boxing, more boxing and grappling to work on your striking and wrestling. In your opinion, what's the hardest martial arts to master? Ooh. Big question.
Wrestling, 100%.
Yeah.
And I've been working wrestling more than anything while I've been here, but wrestling, I mean, I didn't grow up wrestling. I grew up striking. So for me, I can strike all day, every day. But now, I mean, I've been in mixed martial arts for 12 years now. So like I can say the same for wrestling, but no matter what, I was doing striking since the age of 5. So that's always going to be like my bread and butter. But wrestling, I would say it doesn't just require a certain type of skill. It requires a mental skill.
Right. A lot of strength,
I can punch and kick people all day, but I mean, that wrestling is a different kind of grind. It's a mental grind, and that's what I actually honestly love wrestling. I actually was telling my coach, I was like, I can't wait to fight. The way I fight is I'm always going to fight them to their weakest. So like Corey McKenna, why would I wrestle with Corey McKenna? Like she wants to wrestle. Obvious. They already know this. I don't need to say it. It's going to be obvious.
No surprise.
But my coach was like, I can't wait to fight someone where I'm like, okay, I got to wrestle. And I was like, because of my debut. I was like, I just can't wait to show these people that I can wrestle and that I'm actually like a good wrestler. And but yeah, it's still that one art where jiu-jitsu, there's a million things that jiu-jitsu is like a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
But it's hard to conquer. It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you stand up fighting and striking, you have positions, orthodox, southpaw, and you can pretty much, you got like textbook striking. There's not much more out of that you can explore, but on the ground, there's so much, you got to work with, react to, respond, and yeah, I feel like it's got a lot more challenges within that. But no, it's good to hear that you're excited about it still, because for a lot of fighters, they might get a bit frustrated when they're up against a wrestler, But
no, I want it because I mean, I'm already on my 4th fight and I'm still stuck on my debut because it still stings me. It still stings me.
We'll get that one back almost.
Yeah, it's still the chip on my shoulder.
Nice. All right, so let's get some few more questions out because we got to get into the game pro soon.
Yeah, we do.
But next one up. So
did we do that one?
we got we had Angus Jenkins. So Angus Jenkins has a question which notoriously he loves to ask this question, and we like it too, to be fair. But here it is. What's up, Angus? Where's your mum's brownies? We love them. Send some more.
Yeah.
So Angus, right? He says, "Hey Cheyanne, just wondering if you'd rather fight 1 Ngannou-sized duck or 50 duck-sized Ngannous."
I got a fan mail.
Right.
Here we go.
The same thing, except for with horses and ducks. I don't even know what it was. Okay, can you one?
Okay.
What is it?
It's 1 Ngannou-sized duck or 50 duck-sized Ngannous. And we also need to ask Angus if he was the one responsible for that fan mail.
Probably.
Most likely.
Funny is, I'll tell you guys a funny story is I actually was sparring with Francis a couple of years ago. And for some reason, I mean, he's actually really good to spar for a female. Like he just touches. He doesn't do anything. Like he lets me work or he lets the girls work. And I'll never forget, I shot in on a takedown and I don't know why. And I remember, I don't know what I hit, but I remember knocking my. So because of that, I think I'll take the 50 size ducks.
Wait.
Of him?
You knocked him out or you?
No,
Wait, sorry, breathe.
I knocked.
You knocked yourself out. Yeah, it just wasn't coming through on the audio feed.
I don't really remember. I just know my sister was there watching, and I don't know why. I think I was only like 22 years old, and I was like, "Oh, I want." like I can try to take him down, because he was like, again, he was like letting me work, and I don't really remember too much, and I just remember shooting in and hitting something. I don't know what I hit. I'm sure it was a hip bone, and I fell on the ground. And I just remember him like, I wasn't like unconscious, but it was like one of those flash knockouts, you know, where you hit the ground, you wake right back up. And I was like, oh, I'm okay. I couldn't spar for like 2-3 weeks after that.
Wow.
I mean, you might as well just literally turn around right now and just run full pelt at that wall behind you, because it's the same impact.
You know, I don't even know if he remembers that still, because it was like 4.5 years ago, but I will never forget that. And I was super embarrassed. She was like, you idiot. And I was like,
that's the best story I've heard.
It's a great story.
I mean, I would have woken up and just been like, did I do it? Did I do you proud, Mum? Did I knock him out? What happened?
I mean, it was not the smartest thing I've ever done in my life, but I tried. I've definitely tried.
God loves a trier.
I'll take the 50. I'll kick all those little things. I'll kick all those. I don't get knocked out again.
50 ducks. Love it. Absolutely love that.
Oh, dear.
Okay,
we
amazing.
should have this one maybe.
Next question up. Okay, so here we go. This is from Cage My IQ. Hey, Cage. Good to see you in the chats again. So he says, what has been the most difficult to deal with in camp? Not who, that's what. Yeah, okay. Just double checking.
This is honestly my first camp I've ever had where I've had no problems, like, I wouldn't say like at home, but like, I want to say kind of like at home. Like, I have not had like any super challenges right now. Being in Vegas has kind of been a challenge, but I mean, before, I mean, I don't really know. Every camp something happens where you have to, like, you know, handle it and stay focused and stay, you know, disciplined. But this time around, I haven't really had any challenges. Only challenge I've really had is like getting extra work in with my coach, with my head coach. That's been quite a bit of challenge. Busy, but
when you say being in Vegas is a bit of a challenge, is that a little bit like when the interviewers asked Muhammad Ali, what's the challenging part about your training? Is it the resting? Is it like the striking? Is it the cardio? And then he says, is it the bars? Is it the women? Is it the, you know, that sort of thing? Is that what's challenging about Vegas, the sort of distractions, or what is it, would you say?
Not at all. Like, I don't do anything here. Just being in Vegas, it's not my home anymore. You know, for me, it used to be home. I used to love this place, but this year, again, a lot of things happened this year, and it's taken a toll on me. And you know, moving away, I'm like at peace at where I live. I love my life, and my dog absolutely loves it. So, I really miss home, and I'm away for 4 months from my dog and my cats, and dealing with like trying to get working with my coach. And, you know, I wouldn't say I have a challenge. And again, like, maybe they are challenges, but my mindset since everything that's happened this year, I've really, every time something happens, I'm just trying to take it and make it good. Like, I'm not telling myself I have any problems. I'm not telling myself, oh, this is happening. Oh, this is going on. Like, I have a problem. Cool. I'm going to make it to where it's not a problem. So this camp, I've had no challenges. Only thing that's been a challenge is just missing my animals.
Apollo is adorably cute. I mean, you say animals. I know of Apollo, who's two cats.
Yeah, she's got two cats.
Yes. One of them is special needs. I found him when he was 2 weeks old, and had him ever since. And then I have another one who's not special needs. And I love them. I never had cats in my life, but I love these two cats. They made me love the breed so much. I love them, and I miss them.
In my experience, all cats have special needs. They just always just
cats. You either love cats or you hate cats.
Just, you know, they sort of like, they're very particular about what they need. They're very, you know what I mean. Yeah. And then you give it to them, and then they're gone.
Yeah, my one cat is very special. He can't hear, and he has like a eye problem that makes him like this all the time, like always shaking, and he like walks in circles, and he doesn't meow, he screams. So like, He's a very different kind of cat.
Wow.
Yeah.
All he does is eat and sleep. He doesn't do nothing wrong. He doesn't scratch any furniture, does nothing. And my other cat, I also got really lucky. Never chewed anything. She's never scratched anything. She's like his security guard. She like, whenever he starts screaming, she like goes over to him, slaps him, wakes him up, and like I'm here. Like they can't those two, but right now they're all my 2 cats and my dog are separated from each other while I'm away. I have one person watching my cats and another family is watching Apollo. So I'm just really happy to hopefully win, and then I can go and I can actually go buy something with my money for once. I want to buy a property, get my family.
Okay.
So
I mean that's
so cool.
that's good way to kind of end things really and move on to our game, okay? Because we've got a game for you.
Nearly forgot that we had that part of the show to get onto. I mean, the fan questions have just been prolific. Apologies for you guys if we couldn't get through all of them and we couldn't get around to your questions. We're sorry, but some good questions in there. Thanks for chiming in, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation so far. Because again, some really great answers, some extensive answers, which is why we're coming on to the back end of this. So this is the game.
Yes, this is the game. Now, this game could have been called something, but I felt it was a bit too early. It could have been called "We Wish You a Merry Vlismas." Okay. No, I felt it was a little bit too early. Yeah. So I've actually created a game called.
They have put up the Christmas lights here in the UK already.
I guess
it is, and that is just way too early. Not a lot of us aren't too happy about it. What about in
It's November for me. As soon as November hits, or back end of November, then we can start thinking about it.
Yeah. That was a little too early. It's a little too early.
Yeah. So this game is called Cheyanne Buys. Now, the aim of this game is just basically we want to know what your spending habits are like.
Okay.
That's all it is. I mean, what are your spending habits normally like?
I love girly things. Okay. I love facials. I love doing my toes. And I have an obsession with buying clothes, but I, for some reason, don't have like any clothes. Okay. Because what I do is every time I buy clothes, I get rid of my other clothes to friends. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Because I have no clothes right now. And I'm like, oh my God, why do I buy these clothes that I only like for a certain amount of time? And then my friend was like, I feel like I need to take your next fight purse from you because you just go and buy things. Like if I see something that I like, I want it right then. But then I'll go to another store and I'll see something that I like even more. And then I'm like, you idiot, you just bought something that you just kind of liked. And so I'm working on that part.
I'm kind of the same,
Yeah, but where I live, is perfect for me. My housing is super cheap, compared to what it is in America. It's like $300 a month to live. Everything is furnished. Wow. So because of that, instead of saving the other money that I would spend in America for housing, I tell myself it's okay to spend that money, and that's not okay. Yeah. So I'm still working on it, but I think now this year I lost a lot of money for certain things. Nothing important, but this year my money just flew by. I'm like, okay, this next time I'm buying a property. Yeah. Okay. I'm buying something. I mean, I can't fight forever, so I really need to start investing my money better.
Yeah, I mean.
It makes sense. And I've seen why you made that segment as well, because you were talking about buying a property, and then that's just the perfect time to introduce Cheyanne Buys.
It was. I mean, we've got a few questions, few scenarios we're going to put you in, and a couple of multiple choice. So we would just want to know where your head's at with most of these. I guess the first one really is, it's Halloween at the end of this month, and we just want to know what costume you're going for this year.
Oh, I don't dress up.
You don't? I mean, it's not really a big thing over here. I mean, I don't really dress up.
I dressed up 1 year back in 2017. I was a nun, like a cute nun. But before that, the last time I dressed up was as a child. So I don't really celebrate Halloween anymore. For me, I'm always ending up fighting near Halloween. So Halloween is just a time for me to stay in the house, make sure I don't eat all the candy.
That's true. And who needs to put on makeup anyway, especially if you've got actual bruises and actual cuts from the fight itself. Yeah.
I have on Halloween anyway, so but no Halloween for me.
Okay, all right. The next one is if you're dining at an Italian restaurant, what are you ordering? Pizza or pasta?
Both.
Oh,
I can't pick.
damn! Oh, I'm kind of I'm a little bit the same almost.
Buys
Or
it
normally, I every time I go to an Italian, I'm like, right, okay, this time I'm gonna have pasta for sure. But then I just end up still ordering a pizza.
Yeah, no, see, you're doing it wrong. What you do, order both, and then you take one slice of pizza with one hand, and then you eat the pasta with the other, and then you take the remainders of it home, and then if you want pasta one night, then you have pasta. If you want pizza, then you have pizza.
Oh, okay,
That
smart
is wild.
thinking. Okay.
And what about dessert? Because this is my dilemma. I go out, I eat well, and then I'm like, oh, I was looking forward to dessert, but now I can't fit it in.
Yeah, no, you just take it home. You'll be able to finish it.
Just order it, take it home.
I eat a lot of food, and I'm pretty thick right now. So I'm like the worst. I go to restaurants, I order everything. And like, why do you do that? And I'm like, because it won't go to waste. I will eat a little bit, and then I'll bring it home. I'll eat it at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, it all goes in the stomach.
Yeah, I love that.
It's either an expensive date or a smart date.
Yes. Well, where I live, everything is so cheap for food. Like for me, it's like a fine dining meal for a family of 5 is like $30-$40, like high-end dining. So I'm a little bit spoiled with where I live. Like it's just too cheap. And I'm like, I'll order everything.
No such thing as
no
too
problem.
cheap. I'd take that every day of the week. Love it.
With like the bills for food there, because I'm like, I'll go out with like a full family to eat like a very high-end restaurant, and it will be like 200 lari. That's not even $100. That's like $70, $60 for like 5-6 people. Oof. High-end.
Oh.
And we order a lot of food.
I like the idea of like, I mean, sometimes if I skip lunch and I get to dinner time, I'm getting lunch and I'm getting dinner, as long as it all goes into the body still. But it's just like, my times might be a little bit off or different. And if I go out and I buy food, then it comes home with me and it's going to get there eventually. Just might take me a bit of time to get it down.
Yeah. I was just out to dinner on the Strip with, obviously, I'm sure you know Casey O'Neill. Mm-hmm. We were dinner on the Strip, and she picked this one place, and I was just like, oh my God, we had 2 little appetizers, and I was like, okay, these appetizers are like $30 a piece. And they came out, and it was like the smallest little things. I was like, you guys realize that my grandmother will eat way more than this. And like, here's a tiny little thing. I was like, this is not even an appetizer. This is just like one bite.
It's a snack, yeah.
And it was really good. But I mean, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I've been in those situations when it's almost like, and the rest, Yeah.
I mean, luckily it was really good food, but I mean, it was not enough. I was like, this is like the tiniest little bites I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
What do you normally go for drinking wise then?
Drinking wise, wine.
Red, white?
Okay, red or white. Ooh.
Yeah, I like red wine.
Yes! Team red!
As I lift up a glass of white wine. Nope, go there.
I don't drink it too much. As I should, but the country I live is where wine originated from. So the wine where I live in Georgia is absolutely amazing, but one glass takes me up nowadays. So I don't really drink it too much anymore.
Sensible.
After my fights, I'm going back home and I am buying myself a bottle of wine with my dog and with my cats, and I'm celebrating.
That's perfect scenario.
Yes.
That's the
perfect scenario.
That's the one.
I mean, okay, then this one, a little bit different, more on the lines of clothing again. If you could choose one brand of trainers to buy right now, what would it be?
I'm sorry, repeat?
If you had to buy one brand of trainers right now, what would it be?
What are trainers?
Oh, okay, sneakers. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, like what are trainers? Sneakers. Wow, I'm not a sneaker.
Sneakerhead.
I like heels.
Okay. One shoe that you have to wear for the rest of your life. What would it be?
It'd be Nike. I've always been a Nike girl.
All right.
There you go.
Comfy. Comfort.
If we had to go for like sneaker brand wise, I like Nike. I've always liked them.
We'll get you a sponsorship.
One day. Fingers crossed.
Would love.
Okay. Well, the next one is, what's your next tattoo likely to be?
None. I'm actually removing tattoos.
Removing. Ooh.
Okay.
Going backwards.
In the business of taking them off, not putting them on. All right.
Yep. I've taken this whole year a different approach. Like I said, I'm removing tattoos. I'm just trying to like, my tattoos I got for free from sponsors. I kind of just got them at a time in my life where, now some of them, not all of them am I removing, just some, some of them I just got to get and they don't have any meaning to them. And, some of them have meaning to where I don't like the meaning, and it's a thing in my life that I want to get rid of. And if it's on my body, I can see it every day. So I'm actually taking the approach of no more tattoos. I'm actually erasing some tattoos. I'm actually getting rid of like 4 tattoos. And it's very painful.
I mean, I know technology is pretty amazing these days. But I mean, I thought the alternative to getting rid of tattoos is just covering them up. But this is like back to getting your
just skins.
No. Yes. And one tattoo that I'm removing is quite large on my knee. I hope
you're gonna keep that one on your leg. Is it your right leg? I
have like a California girl. I have a Buddha, and then on my knee I have this like weird, I don't know, like design with a flower. That I'm removing, and then I'm removing the one on my wrist, the 2 on my neck, and that's it for now. I'm going to see how those turn out.
All right.
You know, one of the knees going to hurt.
As well.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah.
I've done 2 sessions on the knee, and the guy, I actually just did it like 4 weeks ago, and the guy was like, because where I go, in Georgia, they don't have the cryo machine with it. It's just the laser. So it's no even like ice cold feeling. It's just the laser. And it's so painful, the guy, but I sat there the whole time, didn't cry one time, and I just stared at him doing it. I just stared at it, and it made the pain like go away for some reason. I don't know why, but like staring at it in the process, it was like quite interesting watching it like fade.
Yeah.
And the guy just, I don't know who you are, but you are superhuman. And he actually, before he found out I was a fighter, he was like, can I take a photo with you? Because he was telling me how he tried to get a small one removed on his leg, and he cried so bad that he couldn't do it. And I was like, this tattoo is huge. And I just sat there, and he was like, do you need a break? And I'm like, just keep going.
No. Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It's a
mindset.
The mind.
Badass.
Strong.
Only few people
You can handle it.
Only few people are like you with that sort of rock solid mindset to a point that they feel like they can take down Francis Ngannou. You're unique.
I look at him every day at the. Why did I ever try that?
because you got the mindset.
Yeah.
You know, no one even known that story. I don't even think Francis knows that story. I know he knows that I tried, but like I don't think he realized that I went out for a second.
I don't think that guy can count the amount of people he's knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
But wow, he had a very large frame that I just felt like hitting a wall, I think. Yeah.
All right. What else can Cheyanne buy?
Yeah, there you go. Do you want to read that next one out?
Okay, so you've just received a hefty paycheck and you decided to move house. Are you buying a farm in the middle of nowhere or a penthouse in New York?
Or Vegas.
Or Vegas. In the city.
It's so funny because a lot of people think I made so much money, which I did make a lot of money, and that I have all this money. I wish it was the case, but after my next fight, I will get my funds together, and I plan to buy a house in a village on a lot of land, and it's on like a river, amazing view, and I've always wanted my whole life animals, and I'm gonna give myself that. Like, these past few years, like of course it was always something I've always wanted, but I never really like thought when would I do it. And I'm building my foundation I've wanted since a little girl now. So I'm gonna get myself a cow. I'm gonna get myself some goats. I'm gonna get myself some chickens for my fresh eggs every day. I'm gonna start. After this fight, I will be able to start a little bit. And I'm building the house. I'll build like the house from scratch.
Yeah. Farm.
So it will take it'll take a couple years, but I gotta start somewhere after this next.
Yeah, a bit of a process. Yeah, no, that's cracking. I was in 2 minds. I was like, I don't know where she would be on that kind of question. Would it be farm or penthouse? But the farm, that's very interesting.
I'm a person. I'm like, actually, crazy enough, I'm talking about buying a house in a village, but I'm the type, like, I love the ocean and I would love to have one on the ocean. But like for future children, it's best to have like animals. I believe like my whole life, I've always loved animals so much. And I used to beg my parents for pigs, monkeys, everything, you name it. I begged my parents for. And so to be able to one day like give my future children, that is what gets me excited. Like I wanted that. And I think like how great of a life is it to raise children like on a farm, like learning hard work, waking up, taking care of cows, waking up, feeding them, like learning how to pick eggs, learning how to do milk. Like that's hard work. And
honest ground.
Teaches the basics,
yeah,
really, isn't
honest
it?
roots. It's another
humanity.
Like that for me, school didn't teach me anything. School never taught me one thing. I don't think I use anything I learned from school besides basic math. But that kind of life, I feel, teaches you more than school will.
Yeah.
But, school, don't get me wrong, but yeah. For
you,
me, that
I did hear your history in school. I mean, it was you know, you aced it.
yeah. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, cool. So now this next one, it's your partner's birthday. Which of these items are you most likely to buy? 1, a brand new car. 2, tickets to their favorite game, whether it be football, basketball, whatever, you name it. Front row seats to your next fight. 4, a brand new against the fence hoodie, because why wouldn't you not want one of them? Or 5, something raunchy for the bedroom. Which one is it likely to be?
Of course, the hoodie.
You had it here first.
Honestly, for my partner, new car.
New car.
Set
of wheels.
Yeah.
Now, what are we talking about here? Sort of like a 4x4. You're talking about sort of a convertible, or what sort of car? What's the flavor? Sports car.
There's two different flavors. There's pickup, or there's that extra spicy type Corvette, which I think I would probably do the Corvette.
Okay.
Just because you can use it sometimes.
I'm not into Corvettes, honestly.
No?
I'm not. I love like Cadillac Escalades. I love like pickup trucks. I love big cars. I love big cars. My father's a truck driver, so I grew up in like cars. So for me, the Corvette's no big deal, but partner-wise, Corvette. Yeah.
Corvette.
Nice. All right. Okay.
Way forwards. Love that.
Do you want to get the last one? This is the last one.
Okay. All right. Now, you're throwing a house party. What 10 essentials are you looking to buy to ensure everyone has a great time? List them off. Let's have a look. What has to be there in the room that's going to make sure it's the most lit party that anyone's ever been to before in their life?
Food.
Right. Nice.
Food.
I mean, that's a very safe, solid start. I agree.
Yeah. Good answer.
So 10 items for a great party.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, go wild with it.
Okay.
I mean, get creative.
Well, I don't party anymore, but let's go. Anytime I host something, there's always food.
Yep.
There's wine.
Let's think maybe what sort of entertainment could be there, and any acts or...
If I threw like a house party type huge thing,
Right.
like you need a DJ.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Then you need like games. You need like something to like people just can't talk. You need something like I don't know.
Interactive.
But
Like helicopter rides.
yeah, you need some type of game. Yeah, you need some type of games.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm such an animal person. I would love to bring some animals.
Like a petting
Animals
zoo.
to the pie.
Like a petting zoo.
Yeah, I don't know, like no snakes though. I'm not into snakes, but I would love to imagine like a monkey coming into a party and like jumping everywhere.
Hey.
Like,
Do you know what? It'll be like, hey, you're quite the party animal. And he'll be like, oh, how original.
Yeah. Monkeys with like the cute little outfits, like jumping people. Or like even a bird, like a parrot that's talking, and imagine like a parrot just like repeating it. I don't know. I'm such an animal. thinking of like, imagine how much fun that would be. I'm that type that goes to someone's house and they'll just plays with the animals. So I don't know. I don't party like this.
Oh.
We'll get the petting zoo, the DJ.
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
Food.
With the monkey.
I'll rock up.
Shoot. How if I could.
Hey, well.
Okay, what else we got?
Not good with this one.
I just try to think, okay, let's try switch up the question then. So in terms of like one place where you'd really love to party. I don't know if you've gone to a venue as of late, which has been like, oh, it's amazing. Or I'd love to turn this, I don't know, perhaps particular space into like a sort of festival like party thing. I don't know. But where would you really like to party based on what you've seen as of late?
Oh, I love beaches.
Oh man, that's cool.
That feeling like being in like a bathing suit and like some clothes and like being near water and like the lights on the beach and like just like that tiki hut feeling. I love something like that. I just love that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't think it could be a beach party, to be fair. Oh, and bonfires. Get like a bonfire on the beach going.
Yes, imagine how much fun that is. Doesn't matter if you get wet then, like there's water right there. I mean,
and then there's just a guy in a corner playing guitar, you know? You've got to have that in there as well.
I mean, where I live right on the Mediterranean Sea, and there's like a boardwalk and there's like little like tiki huts everywhere. So like, it's just so fun.
You sold it to me. I'm moving out there.
Gee,
sold it. Yeah. I'm coming. That's the place to be. Wow.
Yeah. And there's dogs everywhere where I live. Just saying.
Okay.
That's what you want.
That's the benefit.
Okay. Selling it.
But that's the head of a party. I mean, you got Ed Sheeran on the beach around the fire, and you got like the whole thing going off with like animals.
Yeah. You got goats. You got cows. You got food that's just coming out on trays constantly, just keeping it flowing. You got games on there.
How it is where I live. It's just the beach and.
I think you just described Fire Festival.
Yeah.
No.
Which never happened.
Well, that was what Fire Festival was meant to be, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Great.
The real one.
Documentary.
That's cool. That's
cool.
Cool. All right. And I think that brings us, I mean, it's a fun game. And you saw we did that with the wordplay. And who knows, you know, if you come back again a little bit sooner, closer to the big time itself, we might whip up a little
next time.
Merry Vlismas.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give that one.
Merry Vlismas.
Come back for sure.
Love it.
It's been super fun, and we've had a great time. And you've been so generous with your time as well. So thanks for just being able to just give us that and input with such great answers to the questions, and just giving the audience, some of the fans here, some really detailed responses.
Yeah, and we'll say goodbye to those guys who have tuned in, but don't go anywhere just yet because we need to get a few picks from you for UFC 280, which is behind the scenes.
We have noticed you do like to give quite impartial to a good opinion when it comes to picking fights. Big cards. Look, we'll love to get into that. Just for like a quick 5 minutes, some opinions on the big card that's coming up this year. I felt like you'd have some really good input. So yeah, stick around for that.
All right, thanks guys for tuning in. Thank you for your questions once again. If you haven't done so already, smash a like on the video, of course, because it's going to help us. And don't forget to follow Cheyanne via her socials, which are Shy Warrior Princess, Shy War Princess. I should have typed it out so many times. God, we got there in the end. And before we wrap up, Shy, do you want to kind of...
The floor is yours.
The floor is yours for any sponsorship shout-outs?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. That's all.
Cool, super. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care, all.
Ciao for now.
Bye.